in?
About 3 or 4, so we're all right. We're okay. We're fine. I got some questions as well. So Gary's given me a couple to ask you, so it's all right. It's okay.
Nice.
So, I take it we're live then.
Well, it tells us we're live. I'll double check the page. Hello, if we are live.
Oh, there we go. Let me oh, hold on. Right. Turn that down. We are, and we've got 6 viewers at the moment.
Oh, lovely.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Etta Buffet, and this is Talk Time. And my guest tonight is Dixie Normous.
Hello.
How are we?
I'm good, yeah.
And how's lockdown been for you?
It's been all right. I've been drinking a lot.
You've been drinking a lot?
Mm-hmm. I'm just like, I've got nowhere to go the next day, so who cares if I've got a hangover?
Well, that's it, isn't it, really? Some days I seem to get drunk a little bit, but then Mondays I just write it off and it's just a sofa day for me and I don't do nothing. It's pretty much I don't do absolutely nothing. So I will be asking you a few questions.
Okay.
You don't have to answer them if you don't want to. If they're too personal, then just tell me to fuck off. Oh, sorry.
Oh, does that mean some are very personal?
Oh, well, you know, sometimes some people might think they're a little bit personal, but I don't think they are. So, you know, if you don't want to answer a question, just say move on. It's up to you.
Okay.
We're just sort of
I'm very facial. I talk with my face before I speak. So even if I don't answer a question, people will probably know the answer just from my face when I hear the question.
Oh, dear me. Let's have a look. We've got 18 viewers. Let me have a look. Laura Tipping's watching. Thomas is watching. Adam Phillips, hello there. James Hacker, good evening, James. How are we? James had the first Etta Buffet t-shirt that he won at Player Cards Rights.
Oh, well done, James.
Donovan shared it. Thank you, Donovan. And good evening, lady. Good evening, girls. That's Thomas Buckland. Good evening, Thomas.
Good evening, Thomas.
Wow. So, right. So, are you in lockdown on your own then, Dixie, or are you with anyone else? Or
so I live at home with my family. So I live with my brother and my mother. So it's us 3 together. But it's kind of nice because I tidied my bedroom before lockdown. It was a state. So I'm glad I did because that means I can do things like this. And I'm spending a lot of time up here watching Netflix and stuff. So we're basically living in 3 separate rooms. So we're not getting in each other's way or annoying each other anyway.
Oh, that's okay then. Well, at least you've got someone with you because some people are out there and they're on their own. They've got a little flat, they've got a garden. You know, so, you know, I do feel for those that are on their own. So, you know. So you've got quite a big circle of family, have you?
Yeah, it's quite big. Not most of it lives in Cardiff. It's spread out across Cardiff, Wales, and there's some in Swindon as well. But here in Cardiff, round the corner, I've got my nan. She's on her own, but she's doing okay because she's working from home. So she's still keeping busy. She's still able to get out and go to the shops and stuff.
Aww.
And then I've got my auntie and what's he called? Cousin, not nephew, cousin, over that way. Then up in Mid Wales, we've got my 2 uncles. And it's just like, it's an all right, we're quite close family as well.
So
we're talking on group chats, we're video chatting like once a week. So we're keeping in touch, which I quite enjoy.
And do they follow you with being Dixie and you know before your lives? You've been very busy.
Oh, I've somehow become very busy. Yeah. Again, when you've got the most time in the world, you seem to find yourself becoming more busy. Like my grandfather, when he retired, he's busier than ever now since he's retired because he's suddenly got time, and now he's got no time again because he's filling his time. But yeah, they've always followed me from the beginning, pretty much. The one side of the family, I was a bit, I don't know how they're going to take it. Do you know, when it's like, I was kind of out before I did drag, but I wasn't fully out and stuff like that. So it was kind of a double coming out when they found out I did drag. So it could go one of two ways. But
Yeah.
now that side of the family, the grandfather is actually a photographer at Pride. So he's more than happy with it, which I'm also very happy with as well.
Oh, fab. Lovely. So you've got a very good supportive network with family.
Yes, yeah, everyone's really supportive.
Good. That's lovely. Oh, bless you. Right, so the first question is, what is your future now Minsky's has closed?
Oh, I wasn't ready for this so early on. Yes, it is very sad.
It is. And I'm very sad, because it's been around for a very long time. And last year it was 25 years that we celebrated. I remember coming in and everybody was there, and it was just fantastic. And I'm really am gutted that Minsky is no longer with us.
It's such a loss to not just the Cardiff community, but across the UK. Week on week, there'd be less people from Wales than there were from elsewhere in the UK. Like, we constantly have hen parties very popular was Newcastle. They all came down to us, which I find surprising because they're known for their party atmosphere. So I assumed they had something up there. But we always had people from all over the UK. So it is a very sad loss to the community as a whole. But what am I going to do is, I don't know, basically. Minsky's, I was there every Saturday and it got me out there, people knowing who I was. But I think now is the time that when I do move on to somewhere else after all of this, that I go on as a cabaret performer, as people would see me. Minsky did incredible things for me. I'm not saying they didn't or anything, but people would see me as a shop girl and they would think that's all I had to offer. Whereas then if they saw me perform, like when I performed at Mary's, everyone was like, oh, I didn't know you could perform like that. And it's like, yeah, because you know me from this setting.
Yeah.
So it's very sad that it's gone for my career and for the world. But I think it's given me the opportunity now to move on and really push myself and not keep myself in a box.
And it's giving you that bit of platform to start, hasn't it? So, another question here I've got, what's been your favourite prides that you've done? Because you've done a few prides as well, haven't you, in the past?
Yeah, I've only really officially done two. So I've done Pride in Gloucestershire and Pride Cymru, and they were both incredible events, but I've got to be very biased and say that my favourite Pride ever has to be Pride Cymru.
Yeah.
Not only because I'm from Cardiff and it's the people I know there, but it's because I actually also work for them. So that's where the biasy comes in a bit. Because I got to that point where I started drag after I was already working at Pride and working on the cabaret stage. And a few years ago, I became solely in charge of the cabaret stage. So that's when I was like, right, I'm going to take this opportunity and book myself. Because if you can't get booked, book yourself. That's what I'd say.
Well, I'll keep that in mind.
Because I was in charge of those bookings. I was like, right, I'm giving myself a slot. And now I've become a regular at Pride Cymru through myself. But actually, the committee themselves are happy to see me there every year, which I really enjoy. But I am planning on going to more Prides. I had 5 booked in for this year, but I don't think any of them are going to be able to happen.
No.
Sorry. Gail.
Yes, I don't think there'll be many prides that will be sort of going ahead. A lot of them have cancelled, haven't they?
Yes.
So but is Cardiff is Pride Cymru going ahead, or we touch and go on that at the moment?
The official answer is we don't know.
Right.
We're working on things and trying the best we can to get some sort of event out to the people, whether it be different to what everyone expects or the same size. It's all going to depend on what the government say.
Yeah, and social distancing and all that sort of thing. It's,
yeah.
It all depends on that. But well, fingers crossed, and we do hope that something may come of it. And but if not, then we can come back bigger and better next year. That's what I say.
Oh, of course, yeah.
That's what I say. Right, should we have a look? Just have a little look at some little, see if anyone's made any comments. You got the comments there as well, have you, Dixie?
Yes, I've got them on my head.
Okay, let's have a little look and see. Probably missed a few. Let's have a look. Hello, that was from James. Gabby says hello. It says hey.
Gabby.
Matthew's watching. Hello, Matthew. Hello, ladies. Hello, Jamie. Crawford. You should make a debut of Flamingos Cabaret Bar in shortly after lockdown.
Now, talking about that is quite interesting, actually.
Oh, let's hear. Come on, let's hear.
So, about 2 months before lockdown, they got in contact with me, Flamingos Bar, because I'd been pestering them. Anytime I saw them in WoW, I'd be like, "Where's my booking? Why haven't you booked me? Book me, book me, book me." Constantly. I was even going on to Dominique all the time. Why aren't I there? And then I actually got a message from Dominique 2 months before lockdown saying, "Would you come up and do a show with us?" And I said, "Yes, 100%, let me know." So then Rob, I believe, got in contact and said, "Do you definitely want to do it?" I was like, "Yeah." So he booked me in. And the date I was supposed to be performing was the day after official lockdown basically happened. So they closed Flamingos just before lockdown. And I was supposed to be there the day after they closed. So I would love to go up to Flamingos when this is all over.
I'm sure they've still got you penciled in. So as soon as all this is over, I'm sure they will have you up there and, to do a little bit of cabaret up there as well. Have you been to Flamingos in Shorty?
No, I've never even been up there.
I've been once. Yeah. Loved it. So it was really. I didn't go as Etta, but I went up for a night out and I loved it. It was absolutely fantastic. Rob, Mandy, Dominique, they were brilliant. We really, really enjoyed ourselves. Yeah, it was really good. We did have a lovely time. So definitely get on them and say, keep me penciled in. Yes. And also, if you're looking for anyone else, that's phase free, get that out there.
That's how much you charge. It's free.
So who else have we got? Matthew said hello both. Hello, love. How are you? First time wearing nails, so I'm not that. I'm trying to. It's a bit. Who else we got? Hi, Dixie. Is your Tony? Can you see that?
Yes, but I don't know who this Tony is, so I don't know whether I want to say yes or no. So I might have to have a little look at his profile.
Oh, I see what he's saying. Is your right? Okay, so he's asking you: is your nan? Is that your nan's name? Is that right?
Yeah, that's what he's asking.
Are you picking him up now? See if you know him.
Tony, what's his last name on there, Lev?
Carberry, Carberry. She's just going to check you out. Make sure she knows you.
The mutual friends. Right, let's see the mutual friends, shall we? I don't know if I know him, really.
Is he good looking?
God, no. Sorry, Tony. Still watching. I forget that sometimes I feel like this is just a Zoom call when I do things like this. So I just say things and I'm like, oh yeah, there's actually people watching this.
I'll have to check you out. Tony, and see what you look like myself. Oh dear. We got I miss WoW Bar. Yes, we're all missing the bars at the moment, aren't we? It's just, hopefully they say the 4th of July, but we just don't know at the moment. And as soon as we know, we let everyone else know. And I'm
By
sure
the 4th of July, what state do they mean these places are going to open though?
Well, I don't really know. I think it's like the first phase of the hospitality opening. So I think they're trial things and then be like hairdressers, a few bars and that. I think me personally, and this is my own opinion, because when I say my own opinion, people have a go at me and I think they'll probably do it all in stages. So different bars will open at different stages, I think.
Yeah.
and they probably see how that goes. Because I think if you just say, right, all the bars are open, all the hotels are open, all the hairdressers are open, everybody will flock to everywhere, and I think it'd be a little bit, because I do think, me personally, social distance will have to come in for a while.
Me too.
No cuddling, no cuddling. It'd be getting to there and be like, no, 2 meters apart, stay there.
Yeah. How are places like Eagle going to cope?
Well, yeah, I know. I know. How's that going to work?
I don't know.
Especially in the dark rooms in Gran Canaria as well. Do you know what I mean? How's that working?
They can't even see if people are social distancing. That's one problem.
Well, no, they can't really. So, right. Has Dixie ever slept with any of her teammates from Minx Kiss?
No. I'm not one sleeping around, really. I'm like, well, it depends how drunk I am. But that's as far as we'll go with that part. But I wouldn't really just sleep with someone I know just because.
No. So you've not had you've been out and you finished work and you've had a bit of a drink and you've not gone home with anyone and thought, oh dear, what have we done?
No.
Oh, I was going to get a bit more out of that. But you
like a family. I'm not into
I thought you and April Fruits would have got it on.
I'm not into incest. We're like a family in instinct. Some of you might be into that, and I'm not saying it's wrong. Kind of is wrong, but just no.
Okay. Well, I was no gossip on that one. Right. This is from Emma. She said, what seems to be the issue with Dixie Normous's name? And who are the other two drag queens? And what's all this about?
Oh, goodness me. Oh, goodness. Anyway, thank you, Emma, for that question, if you exist. Because I know Mark's and Etta have been itching to ask me this question for a while. So if that actually came from Emma, thank you very much. But, I need to prepare for this.
Now, I haven't got any shots here with me. I've got my martini, and that's all I've got. I haven't been shopping, so I've been I did ask Gail to go and get me some shots earlier, but she never come back with anything. So.
Oh, of course she didn't. Right, so what's happened is there was a small BBC Three documentary a couple of years ago. It was just an online one for Facebook and stuff about this 18-year-old drag queen in Grimsby called Dixie Normous. And they've gotten really popular on social media and they've been invited to places like DragCon and stuff. I'm just waiting for the day they're on Drag Race, so I have to change my name then anyway. But they made a story on their Instagram saying they decided to change their name from Dixie Normous to just Dixie. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Because that was something I was thinking of doing anyway, to try and branch away from any confusion. But she then went on her story to continue saying her first reason is because she's only just realised it's a character from Austin Powers. So she didn't want to be associated with a fictional character for being not original, which I knew all along it was a character from Austin Powers, so I haven't got a problem with that. It's played by Gwyneth Paltrow, by the way, if anyone's wondering. And then she also said, because another Dixie in a bigger city has filed for copyright on the name. Trademarking the name Dixie Normous Drag Artist, and Dixie Norm are the three names that they've paid £200 per name to trademark with HM Revenue and Customs. And I was like, so I messaged her and I was like, oh, because she followed me on Instagram. We've already been following each other. And I said, which other queen has trademarked it? And she said to me, oh, I thought it was you. And I was like, no, I haven't done anything of the sort. I can't afford things like that. And I don't think it's very fair. Because the only reason this other queen would have tried to trademark it is because she knew there was more than one of us around. So she was trying to make sure that she was the only one.
So, I see.
Yeah. Also on her post, she always says the original and only Dixie Normous.
Wow.
I'm like,
In my eyes, there's only one Dixie Normous, and that's you.
well,
I don't.
I
don't know these other two, and I've not seen these other two, and I probably will have to check them out after I've seen the interview now, just to have a look.
I'm not telling you which Dixie Normous it was that tried to trademark it, because I don't want any slander against other queens. I said this on my status as well.
Yeah,
when I made this status, there was people commenting saying, "Oh, it's not that much of a search to find out who it is," and blah 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 blah. And I was like, delete this. This isn't to slander anyone else. It's just to let you know of a situation that I'm currently facing. But I've decided that until legal action comes into play, and if she even gets the copyright because of Austin Powers, until legal action comes into play, I'm not changing my name, because I don't want to back down to someone trying to be better.
Yes.
Because in my eyes, we've all worked well together. Like, we've all been doing it for around upwards of 5 years. So why can't we just keep it like that?
And it's never been an issue until recently then, is it? So
exactly.
It's yeah. And like I said, the only Dixie Norm I know is you, love. And to me, there is no other Dixie Norm, I'm afraid.
Oh, well, that's a shame for everyone else other than me, isn't it?
So if we do need to start a petition, I'm on it already. We'll get a petition for
well,
£200 for these names. It's like, they must have more money than sense.
I know. So I'm fine with that. If there is a petition or whatever, go ahead. Fight for me, as they say.
And to be honest, I don't think any of the other two Dixie Noms have ever been to Cardiff, have they? So I've never seen them. I've never heard them.
The one that's trademarked it has.
Right.
And she's actually performed at WOW. So
that must have been the old WOW.
Oh, obviously it was the old WOW. A couple of years ago, there was this thing called Linda Gold's European Drag Idol.
Yeah.
That travels around a lot. And I got a message from Gypsy one random Saturday saying, "Hey, are you appearing at WOW tonight?" And I was like, "No, should I be?" And she was like, "Oh, never mind." So then I saw her that night and I was like, "What was your message about?" And she said, "Oh, well, your name appeared on this list for this drag idol." And I thought it was you, but it wasn't. It was some other queen that isn't from the area. So she's been to Cardiff once as a part of that. She won that heat of drag idol, but as far as I'm concerned, I've been told by sources it wasn't that much of a good heat, to be honest. So it doesn't really say much about them.
We'll say no more. And if any of them want to come and complain to me, then I'll send it to Gail, because we don't have a complaints department. So.
I've got a complaints department. It's called the bin.
Yes, yeah.
Violet and the B for bin.
I had a complaint about play your cards right a couple of weeks ago. I was like, love, it's just a game. Get over it.
Was a that person saying Matthew Colt was too quick? That was a fix.
Yeah. Fix. It's not a fix, love. It's not a fix.
You can tell by the amount of delay with playing the game that it's not a fix.
I know, there's always a delay. I don't. Every time I come to play the game, there's always a delay.
That's where the delay gets worse as well. But yeah,
right.
As I was saying, my main competition for the name has already changed the name to just Dixie.
Right.
So if there was competition for the name, and it did come down to, because it won't come down to anything legally, because I don't think she can trademark the name. Because I'm assuming Warner Brothers would have trademarked it with the film.
I'm sure they probably would have done when, yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Well, we'll have to. We'll see what happens, and if so, then we'll have to get a petition up, and I'll be the campaigner of the petition. There's only one Dixie Norm, and she's in Cardiff. There you go.
No.
Right. Have we got any other comments there? Let's have a look and see. Your orange hair is nice. Oh,
thank you.
That was
from Coral.
That was from Carl. Hello, ladies. Ashley's watching. Hello there, love. Who else have we got? James
Donovan.
Hackett, what is a good night out for Dixie?
I would love to tell you, but if it's been a good night out, I can't remember it. That's what I would say is the best night out for me. Like my 22nd birthday, when I came to Wow Bar to see Ginny Lemon. Didn't see Ginny Lemon once. I remember going up to her very drunk, going, "Oh my God, I'm Dixie Normous. We're friends on Facebook." That's all I remember of my interaction with Ginny Lemon. But what I do remember from that night is I believe Nathan Crothers bought me a Goldschlager, which was my first ever. And I remember having it. And Mandy, one of the old managers from WoW, remembers me sitting on the sofas going, I don't feel good. I don't feel right. And then it got to that point where I wasn't thrown out, but I was persuaded out. You know the way they get them to do that, where they're like, "Oh, if you just want to come with me." It was one of those, and I was sat outside on the picnic bench. 1 minute, next minute, I'd redecorated the steps outside. Wow, but it was a lovely night from what I can remember.
So really, your good night is just get absolutely bladdered and not remember anything in the morning.
Well, that means it's a good night if you've been so drunk you can't remember it.
Yeah, I'm on that. Donovan,
I like to get involved with gossip when I'm very drunk. And I'll have like phone calls or messages the next day saying, "Do you remember what you said about me to so-and-so last night?" I'm like, "I didn't meet so-and-so last night, did I?" They're like, "No, here's a photo of the two of you together." I was like, "Oh, sorry, I can't remember
that. Donovan said, "My ex is a lawyer, so you can give advice on this afterwards." There we go.
Oh, there we are.
Free advice. Free advice.
See you in court.
See you in court. We booked the wrong Dixie. Sorry, that was from someone on our that was someone on our WoW page. We booked the wrong Dixie. Oh, I've looked at my comments now. Oh God.
Oh, the comments are flying in, aren't they?
Hi both. Good to see you. Both having a good chin wag. Yeah.
Thank you, Steve.
I do like to have a good old gossip and find out what everyone's been doing. Yes. Are you missing McDonald's, Dixie? That was from Gabby Williams.
No, not really, but you'll agree with me on what I am missing. I'm missing Greg's. Oh my goodness.
Tell me, as soon as I know they are open, I will be there at 6 o'clock when they open, or 7 o'clock, or whatever it is. I'll be licking that door to get in. Same.
Like I keep buying the Iceland cook at home, Greg's, but it's just not the same.
They're not the same. Now, someone else said to me about these Greg's Iceland things. So I got some sausage rolls, but I just felt like they weren't really the same.
To me, they're not the same because they haven't been cooked within 5 minutes in a blast cooker and then left on a shelf for 5 hours before you buy it. That's why it's not the same. So I think to make it the same, I need to cook it, put it in a glass cabinet, and go back to it 12 hours later when it's stone cold. And that'll be the best Greg's experience for me then. It'll be exactly the same.
And they don't put it in the Greg's bag. And then you put that at the bottom of your shopping, gets all crumpled, you get it home, and you think, "Oh, lush, I'm going to sit down and eat this right now."
Or you go to work the next day, and like you're taking it from out your bag, and you're like, "Oh, I've got a Greg's in the bottom of my bag. Oh, I'll have that now before work."
And I find they're actually better cold.
Depends what you get.
I do like them cold.
Yeah. And I do prefer a vegan sausage roll to a sausage roll.
Oh, you like a vegan sausage roll?
Controversial, I know, but I just think they've got a bit more flavour because they've tried so hard to make it taste like a real sausage roll. There's more flavour in it for me.
Gabby said the windows will need social distancing when us two get there.
There's no point in social distancing because when we get there,
James Hacker put the Greg's twins on screen.
If you'd like to endorse us, if you are watching Greg's, we spend a lot of money with you. So for them, actually, it'd probably be a bad idea to sponsor us because we give them so much money.
It won't. If anyone wants to buy us a Greg's when they all open, then
yes,
do buy us some. Leave it at the front door. I don't mind. Right. So let's have a look here and let's see what else we've got. So we know where you really got your name from. Was from the film. Was you called anything else? Did you play around with names before you picked that one, or did you really know?
So I didn't personally actually pick the name. It was my best friend at the time who, she's like big on old films like Austin Powers and like slapstick comedy and things like that. She loves all the carry-ons and stuff. And I was like, I need to come up with a name. And she was like, sent me a couple, and she went, no, scrap all them. We'll go with Dixie Normous. I was like, oh my God, love it. Yes. But I was playing around with another name, which I would never do now. But for some reason, the name I personally thought of was Mary Slagdalin, like Mary Magdalene. Because I went to Catholic school at the time. So I thought, like, when I was just thinking of Mary, it was like, oh, Mary Magdalene, Mary Slagdalin. And I don't know why I assumed that would have been a good name.
That would have been good. I like that name. I like that name.
And we've already got a really popular Mary in Cardiff. We don't need another Mary.
We have, but still, you could have been Mary. You know, it would have been great. It would have been good. But you are Dixie Norm, and you are our Dixie Norm. So that's what.
Yes.
You know.
And also, Norm isn't really what it was supposed to be either. So obviously, it's Dixie Normous is the full name.
Yeah.
But it's only people only call me Dixie Norm because Facebook wouldn't accept Normous as a real surname.
Ah, okay.
They made me say Norm. And that's how that came about. And then I got contested on Facebook a couple of months ago saying that my name isn't a real name. And if you're watching Facebook, close your ears right now. But if there's anyone else watching that has had this problem with names not being accepted, they ask you for photo proof that it is your real name. So I filled in the form and I got to that bit and I was like, oh, shit. So I got a little bit of advice from someone. And what I did is I just took a blank photo. So it was a plain black photo. I sent that off. Half an hour later, yeah, that all confirms it. Thank you. So what I believe the algorithm does is so many people will get to that stage and go, oh, I haven't got a photo. Oh, I'll just change my name. Whereas then if people just send a photo, they'll be like, oh, they sent a photo, it must be right. So it automatically accepts it. So I don't know if that'll happen again or if my name will get taken off Facebook now because I've said this. But we'll see what happens.
Oh, bless you. Donovan said my drag name is Tina Bourbon, but I don't do drag, but it's my trademark.
Oh no, it's not Tina Bourbon, it's Tina Borsham.
Tina Borsham. Oh right, okay, Tina. Yeah, I think I need glasses. I do need glasses.
Oh, hello, Pete Rankin watching. That's my grandfather, the photographer at Pride.
Oh, is that your grandfather?
Yes.
Hello, Grandad. How are we? Oh, bless him. He's watching you.
Yeah. See, I told you they're all very supportive.
Oh, that's lovely. That's really, really nice. I like that. How old are you, Dixie?
Well, a lady never tells her age, but I tell it all the time because people always think I'm older than I am. So I have to correct them. I'm 22 years of age.
So what do people think how old you are?
Well, I said this on my live stream last night. I was like, I'm only 22. Because people were requesting all these songs. I'm like, I've never fucking heard of it. So why would
Penny
I sing
Arcade.
Oh, Penny Arcade. We will not mention Penny Arcade. I swear to God. Penny Arcade I have heard once, sung by Mary Golds. And now people were expecting it from me last week. And I was like, if someone donates a £5, I'll sing it last week. So Joanna Bumby took one for the team and donated a £5. Thank you very much. And then this week, first, straight away, everyone was like, Penny Arcade, Penny Arcade, Penny Arcade time. And I was like, do you know what? Last week, someone paid for this song. No one pays. No, everyone just wants me to sing it this week. And then 20 seconds later, I get a PayPal donation from Luke Williams with the reference Penny Arcade. So I was like, I fucked myself over there. But they were all requesting these songs. I was like, oh, I'm only 22. And someone would comment, I can't remember who it was. They're like, oh, you look a bit older than that. I was like, rude. And then when I did my Facebook video taking off my face last night, which you can't see because I deleted it from Facebook now, Someone was like, "Oh, you look at least 25." I was like, "At least."
At least 20.
Yeah, yeah.
Good
How
job
old
you
do people
didn't-
think you are, Etta? Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments. How old is Etta Buffet?
How old do you think I am?
And how old do you think I am? Be nice.
Etta Buffet's only 28.
Sorry.
Stone.
I just sneezed, that was.
Well, since I've been doing this though, all I seem to do is I seem to get a lot of straight men. Yes,
Are they
straight men
of
follow me or request me on Facebook, and I'm like,
do you
I
get
don't know
a
who
lot
you are.
of them with Arabic names as well?
Well, yeah, I've got a few.
Yeah, because I get these messages saying, "Oh, pretty lady," and they're all trying to video chat me. And most of the time, I just reply with a picture of me with a beard out of drag, and they're like, "You're a pretty lady. Why have you got a beard?" I'm like, "Because I'm a drag queen. I'm a man." And they're like, "But you're a pretty lady." I'm like, "Right, block." I've had my fun. Block now. It's all right.
It's all right if some of them got some money. It's fine, but
Yeah,
when you look at some of them, you think, oh no, thanks, I'll pass on that.
yeah.
Etta WA and then some. James has put.
Just add postage and packaging and VAT. That's what most people do.
Yeah.
Deduct that, and then you've got your age.
Gabby put my full drag name was Chantal Whiplash.
Mm-hmm.
I love Gabby. She's so lovely.
She is.
And we got Amanda Pilot who's watching. Hello there, Amanda. How are you, love? Right, so
Donovan says it's not gay if you sleep with a drag queen.
Sorry?
Donovan's commented saying it's not gay if you sleep with a drag queen.
No.
So, yes. We've had a question.
Oh, go.
From Dylan. Favourite Disney/musical? I'll ask you. What's your favourite Disney/musical?
Oh. My favourite Disney. It's got to be Mermaid.
Mm.
Yeah, I like that. I do like that.
Pretty nice, yeah?
Yeah.
What's your favourite musical, if you've got one?
No, I don't really. No, I don't have a favourite musical.
Okay.
But I do like The Greatest Showman.
Yeah, you can class that.
So do we class that? Just?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're turning it into a Broadway show anyway, so.
Oh, wow. There we go then. There we go.
So if I had to answer, my favourite Disney, this is like Disney Princess Disney now I'm thinking of, has always been Beauty and the Beast. There's just something about it, and Angela Lansbury as Mrs. Potts is incredible. And I haven't actually, I say it's my favourite, I haven't actually seen the live action Beauty and the Beast yet in full. I saw bits of it at Christmas, but I might watch that tonight.
Every time I seem to sit down and try and watch a film, I fall asleep, so there's no point.
Oh, yeah, same. Because it becomes too late.
Yeah. Stick a film on, and then I'm fast asleep, wake up, and you see the credits rolling up the screen. Well, that was really good.
The best is when you put on Facebook that you're watching that film, and I guess hours later, and someone messages you, "Oh, what was it like?" And it's like, "Well, the credits were nice."
Yeah, I remember.
But my favourite musical, I have got two, and that's Billy Elliot, because I love the story.
Oh, I love Billy Elliot.
And I was so lucky. It came to Cardiff a few years ago, and I paid way more than I would ever pay to see a show in Cardiff, just so I could sit in the stalls, like second row, and it just blew me away. I cried 3 times. I went on my own and cried 3 times, but I wasn't ashamed. And my second one has to be Kinky Boots.
Now, I like Kinky Boots, yes.
I adore Kinky Boots. The film is really good, but in my opinion, the musical makes it even better.
Yes.
Like, adding the music into it just elevates the story so much. I never got to see it in London, but I saw it twice, it was in Cardiff.
Another one I did really enjoy, and that was The Lion King.
Yes, The Lion King is a great musical.
Loved that musical. It was just fantastic.
If you haven't watched the videos online first. Because I'm obsessed with musicals, obviously, they did a 360 on stage video of the Circle of Life opening. so you could see all the puppets and everything, and it looked incredible. So then I went to see it live, and I was like, I know what's going to happen in this song. Whereas most people, when they go and see Lion King the musical for the first time, they are blown away by the way they do it all. Because then once the opening song's over, you're engrossed then. You're like, okay, I'm in this world. But when you go and you've seen it all, you watch the opening number and you're like, I expected that.
Yeah.
So I kind of ruined it for myself by watching all the videos first.
Are you still there? Oh, yeah, you're still there.
Hello?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what I mean. So sometimes when you go and see these shows and stuff, you know, I try not to watch the films. But then when you watch the films, you go and see them and you think, oh, I know what's going to happen here. I know what's going to happen there. And it does, like you say, it does spoil it a little bit for, you know, for watching the musical then, isn't it? So let's have a look. Have we got any other comments there? Let's have a look. Gabby said Disney for her is The Lion King and the musical Cats. She likes
Gabby, that is very controversial choosing Cats because so many people despise the musical Cats.
Yeah, I know that
story.
I haven't seen it. I haven't gone to see the musical or anything. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of people did say that they were very disappointed.
So there's no real story. It's not based on a story. It's based on a book of poems by T.S. Eliot. So every song going through is one of these poems. And the only song that isn't a poem is Memory, which is the most famous song from it, because it was original lyrics and everything by Tim Rice, I believe. But I've seen Cats numerous times. I've seen it live, seen the film. Haven't seen the new film because I'm a bit dubious about it. But I've also been in Cats and played one of the characters. I think it's the more you get used to it, and especially when you're in it and like you're doing the music, you understand that there is a story. But
so you've done a little bit of theatre work yourself then before?
Oh, I've done quite a lot of theatre. Not work. I haven't been paid for theatre or anything at all. I've just done a lot of amateur theatre. That's how performance all started for me. I've been doing drag just over 3 years now, and I've been doing musical theatre for about 12. I've always loved performing, which is bizarre because when my mother first tried to put me in theatre school, when I was like 5, I believe, I cried because I wouldn't do what they told me to and they said I had to. So I cried and went home. And then 5 years later, I'm there going, I want to do this. And I went to countless theatre schools and many different productions, but I just love theatre. It's just performing. That's why I love drag so much. To me, it's the way as an adult that I can keep performing how I want to.
Yes.
And it's my rules. I don't have to do what someone else wants me to do. I perform things how I want to perform them.
Yes. You're the one in control. You're the one that does it have this way, that way, and that way.
Yes, exactly.
And yeah. No, I agree. I absolutely agree. Paul from Lockdown Diva. He's put hello, ladies. Hello, Paul.
Oh, hello, Paul.
You've been doing a lot of You've been doing a lot of online things, Dixie. How do you find that doing things online, live, like we are now, than being in front of an audience?
So I find it the first one I found very hard because it's almost like you're doing a rehearsal. You're just stood there doing what you do with no real reaction. That's why I rely on the comments so much when I do my live feeds. So I have got that bit of reaction. It is a bit easier at times because there's no one interrupting you or being loud when you're talking, which is very nice. But it's also hard.
Or trying to get up on the stage with you and pulling your hair off, or trying to dance with you when you're trying to sing, and
that too, yeah. But sometimes it's harder as well because when you say a joke, you wait for a reaction and then you'll go off that reaction as well, or you'll base how the whole thing's going off certain people in the audience. You'll cling to them and be like, right, they didn't like that, but they did. Is there more of that type than this, blah, blah. Whereas with comments, you could have like 60 people watching and only 10 commenting. And those numbers will go up and down because you're doing what some people in the comments have asked for you to do, whereas others would be like, oh, I don't want that. So they turn off. And that's where it's hard compared to a club environment, because when I can physically see them, it's very hard for someone to stand up and leave without me making a point of it.
Yes.
So on a video, you can't see when people have left. You can only see when they've joined. So there's none of that. Like, you've got the interaction. It's really hard to keep people engaged when you can't physically talk to a physical being or everyone in the room individually.
And when you've sung a song, usually everybody would clap. And then you're quite silent. So you're waiting for all the little emoji claps, aren't you? And the little hearts going along. And
well, yeah, because like, there's a delay. So you finish your song and you go, thank you. And that's when you have a drink or a shot.
Yeah.
And you're like, right, okay, now the love hearts are coming. Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, right. Who else are we? Martin Jones, he's watching it. Good evening, Martin.
Hello, Martin.
Looking fabulous. That's from Shannon Collins.
Shannon is from the US of A.
Oh,
Shannon is from Maine in the United States of America.
I've got a friend. I've got a friend who lives in Maine.
Really?
Her name's Rhonda. And they own like a boatyard or something, or they build boats or something anyway. So, yes, so my friend Rhonda, she's from... So Shannon's from Maine as well, is she? Oh.
Yes, so she tuned in last week on my stream on Drag Diva Lockdown. And she said she's from America. I was like, oh, do you know RuPaul? And she was like, sadly, I don't. So she couldn't put a good word in for me, which I think is despicable. But then, like, she was messaging me over the weekend and we, like, just got chatting. It was really nice. And then she tuned in again last night and she always shares everything. So thank you for watching, Shannon.
Oh, it's lovely. So you just said about RuPaul. Have you ever have you applied for the second series, or is it something that you wouldn't think about doing?
It's something I would think about, I believe, but I think there's a lot I need to do before I do. So yes, I'm known as a singer and a performer, and I have got an all right look, really, compared to some people. But that's not what Drag Race is about. Drag Race is about how well you play a reality show and how well you do with the challenges, the usual challenges that come up. So I'm not very good at celebrity impersonation, so I'd have to work on that for Snatch Game. I can't sew, so I'd have to learn to sew before then. I just think I'm also such a perfectionist when it comes to things that I'll be one of these queens that's like beating themselves up week after week. Like, I could have done it better. So I would need to make sure that, as far as I was concerned, I could do it the best I could before applying. But when it comes to did I apply for season 2, legally I can neither confirm nor deny if I sent off an application. Does that answer the question?
Is it wrong?
Does that answer the question?
We leave it at that, I guess.
Yes.
But, I know what you mean. Me personally, I wouldn't even, not at the moment. I've only been doing drag for sort of since September. I wouldn't even dream of doing anything. But there was that younger guy. He was only doing it. Was it an American one? He was only doing it for about I don't know, 6 months. Or was that
Are we talking about Scaredy Cat on Drag Race UK?
Yes, that's it. Yes.
So, according to the story on the TV show, they'd never done drag publicly before, and it had never been posted online. So my question is, how the fuck did they get on a show like that?
I know.
How can they? I want to see their audition tape. How can their audition tape be so good that someone goes, I don't care that you've never done drag, we'll have you?
Yes.
I think part of the reason is because he's bisexual, but on the show he was saying that he was straight because he's got a girlfriend. So I think that was part of the fact. So there was the whole straight guys can do drag too and all that stuff. But I'm flabbergasted as to how that person got on the show, because I don't even think they were that great on the show. So considering they were on it for however many weeks, they were on it for a little while.
Yes, yeah.
How?
That would be me just putting my audition tape in and then me getting on. And at the moment, I'm still practicing with my makeup. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I don't get it.
You know, it's just all like, you know, Oh, it's just trying to find your way and trying to, you know, but anything like that. Oh God, no, I couldn't. I'm probably past that RuPaul Drag Race age anyway. To be honest, I
Charlie Hyde was on.
don't think I've ever seen anyone over 50 on it.
Charlie Hyde was on there.
Yeah, but how old was Charlie Hyde?
Old.
I would have only been about 40, 45.
Charlie Hyde was the oldest contestant they've ever had.
Well, there we go then.
Shall I Google?
Find out how old she is. But you don't know, do you? You don't see any old drag queens on any of these shows.
If you do, they even not like age. If you see the older style drag queens, so your ambidextrous Miss Kitty, that style, Dr. Bev, if you see people like that on there, they're usually gone first because they're incredible drag queens, but they're not incredible drag race contestants. It's not what they're looking for Drag Race.
Yes.
This is what I always say. By not doing well on Drag Race doesn't mean you're not a good drag queen. It just means you weren't right for that reality TV competition.
Yeah.
It's not a test of drag. It's a test of how well you can cope in a reality TV competition.
Yes, it is. Yes. Yes. You find out how old Charlie Hyde is.
Yes, I just Googled.
I'll have a quick look at the comments. Our manager Tony.
What season was Charlie on? Season 9?
8 or 9, I think it was.
So that would be 9 would be 3 years ago, yeah?
Yes.
So she is 55 years of age.
Really?
So she would have been 53 when she was on the show.
Wow. Oh, I didn't expect that. I actually thought she was only around about 45.
It's the makeup. She's got good makeup and the work she's had done.
If anyone wants to share this and send it to her, then please do.
Yes, I've actually worked with Charlie twice and she's lovely. She's lovely. So please don't send this to her.
Oh no, she was actually one of my favorites when I was watching that series, and you know I really loved the way she was and the way she acted and stuff like that. So you know, Charlie Hyde is just fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's have a look and see if we got any comments. You would have a lot of us vote for you. That was Teresa Willis.
Oh, thank you, Teresa. She also watches on Drag Diva Lockdown.
Ah, have you found that you picked up some fans from doing your online?
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say week after week, I'm seeing the same names pop up. I'm not sure if it's because they're watching as much as they can on Drag Diva, or if it's because they're coming on to watch me specifically. But either way, it really I really appreciate those returning people that come back just to see little old me do me what's supposed to be an hour up to upwards of 2 hours online. just to enjoy. Like I say during the show, I have my PayPal link there, and last night I had my Amazon wish list because people have started doing this now. But I don't do it for that. I just do it to entertain people.
You do, yeah, yes. And I think in times like this, I think it is, you know, it's good to entertain, you know, our audience out there because, you know, we're all in lockdown. We're all in this together. You know, so it's good to carry on and do a little bit of entertainment.
Yeah.
Did you just say that people are putting their Amazon wish to buy them things?
Yes. So instead, a lot of people now, it's either instead of or as well as their PayPal link, they're putting up an Amazon wish list. And there's a few drag queens that I have on Facebook, no names are going to be mentioned, that are constantly putting theirs up. And then the next day, they're constantly putting up photos. Mr. Amazon's been back again. And they've got like £50 worth of stuff sat on their thing. They've got makeup coming, new shoes, wigs, all because they're putting up this link. So rather than donate, I think it's a good idea. Rather than donate, the money's going towards something you need. But my Amazon wish list is filled with alcohol, mainly. I've got a bottle of gin, a bottle of pink gin, a bottle of Bacardi, a bottle of Malibu, a bottle of vodka, a bottle of Jägermeister, a bottle of Tequila Rose, 24-pack of Red Bull, 24-pack of Coke, a couple of wigs. Just, you know, just a few little drinks. Sambuca, black Sambuca, you know, just just in case anyone wants to buy me a drink.
Maybe we could try it. Put our Amazon list out there and see what we get. I think mine's full of wigs, makeup, dresses, sequin dresses, shoes. I think I've got loads of stuff in there. Really, I might just put it on there one day and say, anybody wants to buy something, go ahead.
But mine's mainly full of alcohol because I made a specific list to share with people because my list is so random otherwise. On the same list, you've got wig heads and like toothpaste. Like they're all the same thing. It's all different. So I made a specific one to share with people. So it's mainly just alcohol.
Alcohol. If anybody wants to buy Dixie some alcohol, then go ahead. Go ahead. Oh dear. What else have we got? Let's have a look. Do you know Blue China? Is that the...
What?
There's a comment there. Do you know Blue China? Am I pronouncing that right? Probably not.
Oh, Blue China. No, I've never heard of her, love. I'm sure she's a lovely queen, but I've never heard of her.
No. I recommend putting up an Amazon wish list. People feel better about buying something rather than sending cash.
Yes, but that's the issue with mine.
That is actually
alcohol, or you can buy me alcohol. So that's what's going to happen with mine.
Yeah, I think it's quite a good idea. I might have to try that just to see if anybody would buy anything off my list. But my list would probably be a bit random, so I would have to probably section it a little bit. And
yeah, because you can make numerous lists. So I've made a specific list, Dixie Normous' wish list, on my Amazon that I'm gonna send out. I'll share it with this video later.
Yeah, why not? Why not? And put your little PayPal link as well, because someone might tip you and get a drink.
Gabby said it's a good job Greg's ain't on Amazon. Mm-hmm. No, I think it's a bad job Greg's ain't on Amazon.
You know what? They would have made a packet if they were on Amazon.
They would have made a kill-in. Do you know in some places in England, Greg's is on Just Eat?
Yeah. But they're not open.
No. But they
But they could have done it. They could have done deliveries.
Yes.
I still would have had.
So did you see that between the 1st and the 4th of June, McDonald's is going to be reopening all 924 stores in the UK, which I think is a ridiculous amount of McDonald's stores. Why do you need 924?
I know.
I bet about 900 of them are just in Cardiff. We've got way too many. But and someone comments on one of the links saying, well, it's not up to McDonald's when they open, it's up to Mark Drakeford if they open in Wales. And I had to correct them and say, actually, it's not. Because it's not up to Mark Drakeford or the UK government if places like McDonald's or Greggs reopen, because they didn't force them to close. They closed on their own backs. Because they're a takeaway food service, they didn't have to close.
No.
So that's why KFC reopened pretty much 2 weeks after they closed. Because they realised, well, we don't need to be closed. But what I don't like about these places reopening is everyone flocking there like it's the cure for coronavirus.
Yes.
The constant queues that are clogging up bloody the A470 and places like that, backed up with queues for Merthyr McDonald's and Merthyr KFC and places like that. And it's like, surely there's better things you could be doing with your time than all rushing to McDonald's. If McDonald's didn't close, it probably would have been like this anyway. Yes. But I don't see why people feel the need to rush out and get a McDonald's like it's going to stop them from getting the coronavirus. It's not that important.
And can you imagine when all the non-essential shops open, which they're going to open on the 15th, aren't they? Can you imagine when Primark opens? Can you just imagine the queue in our Primark in Cardiff that will be queuing from the door round and round and round the block about 3 times?
I think as soon as Primark in Cardiff opens, they might as well reopen the whole city centre because that amount of people will be there anyway.
Yes, because it's saying, I know everything's got to start getting back to normal, but as soon as you open Primark, people are going to be flocking in. Mm-hmm. I know I will be, because my jeans are getting a bit too tight, so I need to actually get bigger jeans. Right. So, what are the questions? How has your style of drag changed then over the last 3 years?
Ooh. So when I started, I constantly say this about myself, and I've tried to stay true to this. I like to describe myself as a young / new school queen with the old school style, because I don't lip sync, I sing live, and I try my best at the comedy and stuff. But when I first started, I genuinely, because the first drag queen I ever really saw live, and I know people are going to say it was the wrong one to see first, but I love everyone in Cardiff. And it wasn't on purpose either. It was at Pride, and they happened to be hosting that year. The first drag queen I ever saw was Jolie Dover. And she is an incredible singer. And I always thought, well, if you want to be a drag queen, you've got to be a good singer. So I always went into these things. So I started in Jolene's Drag Race, actually, in Pulse, where I did the competition. I was in season 3. And I was just like, well, I can sing. I can kind of do makeup. If you saw old photos, you wouldn't believe I could do makeup. But I could kind of do makeup. So I was like, okay, I'm going to give this a try. And constantly, along at least the first year of my career, people were like, but you're not funny. You need to be funny. And I always, yes, I agree. A drag queen needs to be funny and entertaining. But the way I look at it sometimes is not all drag is the same.
Yes.
So you have these drag queens that belt out a song terribly, but they're incredibly funny. You've got these drag queens that are amazing singers, but terrible stage presence unless they're singing, which is how I started. And then you've got these other drag queens that are a good blend of the both. But I just don't feel that every drag queen has to be the same, otherwise it'd be very boring. If you went to a drag show and knew exactly what you were expecting, what's the point? That's what I don't get, how with like these American drag queens that stand on stage, go like, and get money thrown at them and get booked and booked and booked and booked. And I'm like, how is that really entertaining? Because you know exactly what's going to happen. They're going to come on in some skimpy bodysuit, dance around a bit, do the splits while moving their mouth to a song by Diana Ross. And it's like, okay, people find that entertaining, but isn't it very predictable? And I've really got off tangent now. I do this a lot.
No, I do, because I can't sing. I will give it a go, and I've done a couple of songs with Kitty, and I've done a couple of songs on my own. And actually, a few people do say to me, "Actually, you're not a bad singer." I think I'm awful.
It's about confidence.
It's about confidence, and it's just giving it a go. And I would rather sing to an audience than mime. That's my personal thing. And also, if I'm going to go and see someone, if I'm going to go and see a drag queen, I'd rather hear them sing. Mm-hmm. Because, like, if they're going to mime, I would rather just put my radio on and listen to the radio.
But the way I look at it is, there is really good lip sync artists. So comedy lip sync, I enjoy, where they have a song and like it cuts away to different things and things like that. But I always believe that even if a drag queen is the worst singer in the world, but they're still doing it, that adds to the comedy and that adds to the humor. Like, there are countless drag queens, especially in the UK, that know they can't sing, but they still sing because people find it funny.
And they play on that as well, because there's a couple of drag queens I know, who I've met over the past, and they're not very good singers, but they play on that because it's funny.
Yeah, exactly.
And it draws the audience, and they laugh in, and so yes, like I say, I wouldn't say I'm if I'm going to go and see someone, I'd rather hear someone sing live. But comedy, when there's sketches, like a lot of the Ricky's Bar and Sparkles, they do a lot of comedy, and I find that funny because there's a bit of comedy in that, and yes, I'm miming, but it's a comedy thing.
Yeah.
And that's probably where my drag persona would probably end up being, in a comedy sort of way, because I can't sing. So I would play on that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I absolutely, I agree with you on that. So,
But what was the original question?
How has your drag changed from over the last couple of years? And you said we'll have a look at your photos.
So when I first started, again, musical theatre background, I was like, I'm going to just do musicals all the time. But I didn't pick like the best songs for an audience. I'll pick songs that I wanted to sing and songs that I enjoyed. And one of the best bits of advice ambidextrous ever gave me after my first gig was, don't do things you necessarily want to do. Do things the audience want to see. So when you think of something and say, if I was sat in a bar situation, having a few drinks, and someone was stood there singing this song, would I enjoy it or would I expect something different? So I moved on a lot from there, whereas I stopped doing songs I want to do as such. Like I still do songs I want to do, but they're songs that I know people will enjoy or hope people will enjoy. And I always tried to have like a new-ish song, but I was always told that I was like a completely different person between different songs. So if I was doing a musical song, confidence, blah, 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 amazing. But if I was doing like a current song, it would look like I was nervous. So what I've worked on a lot is trying to make sure that I do various different types of songs rather than just one style. So it does play to like any type of audience. And I've also started now not planning too much. So I always used to go into a gig, so an hour gig, and I'd plan 45 minutes of singing, which would leave me 15 minutes of speaking. Now, as my career's gone on, I found it easier to speak and have a bit, pardon me, and it wouldn't be the same if I didn't burp on live.
No.
And have a bit of banter with the audience. It's gotten a little bit easier for me as the year goes on, but it's just because it's that I'm used to being in that setting. You always kind of know what people are going to say, and you know how they're going to react.
I've always been, and Kitty's told me this as well. You tailor your stage presence and what you're doing to your audience.
Yeah.
So if I've got a bunch of girls in there, and it's you tailor it to them, or if you've got an older generation, you tailor it to them. It's balancing out, isn't it? So I've always been told, look at your audience, see what your audience are doing, and tailor it to a little bit to what you've got. But there's no point me, having an audience of 65-year-olds and me singing on Lady Gaga or something. None of them would,
exactly.
So I see what you've done over the last years.
I would say the way I've changed is I've just learned how to adapt to different crowds. So unless it's a specific gig that I know, right, you need to be on for this amount of time, get your money and go, I will usually put more songs in that I know I'm going to need, so I can cut some out. But I'll also leave gaps where I'll go, right, I've just done 4 songs, 2 of this style, 2 of that style. Which should they prefer? The 5th song is going to be from the style they preferred, rather than just keep going with what I had planned, because you can never really plan for an audience.
Yeah.
Every audience is different. So I just think as time's gone, it's just learning how to react to different audiences and stuff is what takes the time, I believe.
Yeah. Good. Have we got any other questions there, Dixie? Can you see?
Someone commented a little bit ago saying, are you two reading messages? So I'm not sure if they put anything.
Are you two reading messages? Let me have a look.
So it's David Pierce.
Okay.
He commented a while ago saying, hi, Dixie. And then said, oi, Dixie, LOL. Hello, are you two reading messages? Hello. So, hi, David.
Hi, David. We were in conversation there. But hello, David, and we hope you're well. We hope you're keeping okay. Gypsy's watching. Hello, Gypsy, darling.
Hello, Gypsy. Jolene's watching. Hello. I gave you a nice little plug earlier.
Gina's watching. Hello, Gina. Hello, Jolene. How are you, my love?
Miss Kitty, aha, is
Oh, Miss
watching.
Kitty's on. Hello, Miss Kitty.
Thank you for watching last
Hi.
night as well, Miss Kitty. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed.
David's put finally laugh out loud. Sorry, David. We were a little bit engrossed with what Dixie was talking about. So
I'm terrible, David. Sorry. I'll be given a topic. I'll start talking about it. Then I'll go, oh, I'll talk about that as well. So my conversations, there's the start. And then you're like, there's the end. It's very, they go, my conversations will last 2 hours when it's really a 5-minute topic.
My friend Dina Cheesecake, I love her. Dina Cheesecake. She said you're looking both fabulous. Thank you, darling.
Thank you.
Cherry's watching, so hello, Cherry. I take it.
Hello, Cherry.
Is she still in? I think she's still in Tenerife, or is it? I think it's Tenerife she was in.
Tenerife.
Are we still in Tenerife, or have you come back home yet, love?
Yeah, that's a good
The
question.
more you talk, Dixie, the less we have to listen to Etta. Thank you there, Donovan. Thank you, love.
Teresa said that's why she likes Drag Diva Lockdown, because all the queens are fantastic and they're all different in their own way.
Yes, I agree as well, because I've been following them and you know, I love it. It comes up and I'm like, oh, who we got tonight then? And I have a look and see who we got tonight, and you know, and it's all different. It's all different sort of drag queens. So that's why I do love it. I have been asked to do one. I'm still toying with it at the moment. And it may be that I would do one of my talk times probably. But we'll see. I'll speak to Paul and see what he says. So.
Yeah. You could do a talk time with Paul.
Oh, that would be a good idea, actually.
Because he does something kind of similar, but he doesn't have like questions planned. It's just having a general chat with some of the acts.
Yes,
so it could be a good idea doing Etta's talk.
That would be a good idea. I could interview Paul and find out a little bit more about Paul. Yes, that's quite a good idea.
You are welcome.
What's been your favourite show and worst show, and why? And this is from Miss Kitty.
Oh, Kitty. Let me just pour myself a drink.
She needs a drink on this one. This is going to be a long one.
No, they're all long ones. They're all long conversations, whether they plan to be or not. If anyone's asked the question, where is your jewellery from? Both Etta and Etta, can both answer and say they're from Bling 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 UK.
Bling, Bling, UK.
Both rings. Have you still got this ring, Etta?
I've still got that one. Yes, I've still got that.
But I lost this one for a while, and then I found it with the rest of my jewellery. Someone must have put it back for me. I don't know how, but I've
still got that one, and I brought some from their sale the other week as well. I've got those. Yeah,
this one's from their sale. It looks lovely in my ring light. I
love it. I like Gail. She goes absolutely mental when they go for sale. She's like, "What are you buying now?" I'm like, "Mind your own business." So Kitty said, "What's been your favourite show and your worst show, and why?"
Okay. We'll start with the worst. Oh, it's actually just popped into my head. I wasn't even thinking of this one, but it just popped into my head, that one. So I'll say the original one, then I'll say Gail, can you stop walking in front of the light, please?
You've been told, Gail.
If you want to be on the screen with your shadow, just sit where she's sitting. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, fuck off.
Good girl. I like it.
Anyway, worst show. See, already off on a tangent already. Also, David saying, give me a shout out. I already have given you a shout out, David. Oh, he's put his bloody page up. So he does a George Michael tribute. He's put a link to his George Michael page saying, give me a shout out.
Oh,
isn't it cheeky? Anyway, worst show. So there was a time when I was supposed to be doing a show somewhere else. Can't remember where it was. But it got cancelled for whatever reason. Something had gone on with the venue. And then I got a message saying, can you get to Bristol and back tonight? And I said, yes, I'll find a way. What's it for? So lovely Minus the Cock drove me there and back to a bar in Bristol where
Can we name the bar?
I mean, we can. There's nothing against the venue. It was the OMG Bar Bristol.
Oh, okay.
It was a nice, well-paid gig. It was my first time performing there. So, for me, I get nervous. I've never performed in a venue before because the management specifically don't know what to expect from me. So I feel like I've got a lot to prove when I go into new venues. Whereas other times, if I've been asked to perform at a new venue because someone had seen me in a prior venue, blah, blah, blah. So like Flamingos with me because of WoW and stuff.
Yes.
Then I'm like, I don't feel like I've got anything to prove. They've already seen me and they've specifically asked for me there. But when an outside source books me as like a cover act for that venue, I get more nervous because, like I said earlier, I'm such a perfectionist. I do still try like to plan and go over certain things in my head that I can cover if things don't go too well. I'll just go into this story, go into that story. But when it's like 3 hours before I'm supposed to be on stage, they're like, "Can you get there and back?" I'm like, "Yes, I'll do it." I went, and I just felt like the audience enjoyed it, but personally, it felt like my worst show because I didn't feel prepared. Because I'd found it that night. I know I was supposed to be performing somewhere else, but I found out 2 weeks before that one was cancelled. So it's not like I was ready to perform that night. So it was quite late in the evening, but I went there, I got ready. The worst part about it was, because I was rushing to get there, I forgot my memory stick with my tracks on.
Oh.
So there was a lot of stress so I was there 2 hours before I had to be on stage. And I like to get there 2 hours early because it only takes me about an hour to get ready. But I like to be there early in case anything goes wrong. And I can get ready early in case I need to go on earlier. So I got there 2 hours before and they were like, "Oh, you can get ready upstairs. Just pop down with your music when you're ready." And I was like, "Oh, okay, lovely, I will." And I popped downstairs and I was like, "Oh, I haven't got my music." So it took a full hour and a half to figure out what we were going to do. In the end, I ended up signing into iTunes on the DJ's iPad and downloading, like, he paid for my tracks on iTunes. So we had something there ready. And then that also meant that I had half an hour to get ready. So it was my first time performing in this venue. I was there on time, but didn't have my music. Made the DJ pay for tracks. And wasn't looking my best because I had half an hour to get ready. So for me, I came across really unprofessional in my eyes. Like, they were all fine with it afterwards. They were like, they were glad they could get something together. But to me, I came across as really unprofessional. And I had a repeat booking that was already in for that venue. But it was only 2 weeks after I covered. And they cancelled my booking in the 2 weeks after because they felt it was too early from when I was there before. And I was literally there like, that's not the reason. It's because I was shit last time I was there. They don't want to take that risk on me again. But I have performed there since.
Oh, good.
I even told them when I was there and I forgot my music, I was like, "I'll post you my music 2 weeks in advance. But it's your fault if you lose it then." But no, I got there. I put my music in, I traveled with my music in my hand all the way there. Just like, I've got it. And I got there and went, "There's my music. Sorry for last time," and got on with it. But the other one that I literally thought of as I was thinking of that story, because I was actually sat in WoW when I got the call. And that's what reminded me of this previous one. You kind of brought it up earlier. And it's when I got assaulted on stage.
Oh, when you got assaulted on the stage.
Yes.
Yes. What was all that about?
So it was late. And it was one of those nights where you had a little rowdy group in. But they came in quite late. As you know, like, being a host on like nights in Wild Bar and stuff, it's really hard to try and get things going when there's less people there. So I always try and hold off. I was holding off, and it got to that point where I was like, "No, I've got to do it now, otherwise there's no point in me being sat here ready." And as I said that, a group of 10 people walked in, and I was like, "Oh, perfect timing." So they came in, sat down in the big corner booth. I think they were a group from McDonald's up somewhere rough. I think it was Merthyr, actually. They were from a McDonald's, and they were an all right crowd. They were okay, but as the drinks kept flowing, They were getting louder, and the same two people from that group constantly wanted to do karaoke. Let me sing again. Let me sing again. I was like, okay, calm down, you will. And then the last one from their group that came up, she came up. She hadn't been on all night, but she'd been drinking a lot, and she did the whole. When you're literally about to bring someone on, or you're stood there on stage, she stood in the front and went, I want to go with that. So I went, fuck it. I ain't arguing with this person. She looks rough. She's built like a brick shit house. I'm going to let her get on with it. So I handed her the mic. I asked her for a song, conferred with DJ Chris. We sorted it out. Lovely. She did the song. I was like, lovely. Okay, song finished. And she's still there doing it a cappella. And I was like, the song's finished. Trying to get the microphone back. And she was just like, no, I want it. And she was, yeah. I was like, right, turn it off. So Chris turned it off. And she was like, it's not working. I was like, yeah, because you have turned it off. Get off the stage. So she eventually gave me the mic back. And then she like stroked my arm. I was like, oh, thanks. Don't touch what you can't afford. You know, the classic jokes you do. And then she hugged me from behind. And I was like, okay, she's drunk. She's hugging me. But then like she was like this. And then her arms turned to like this. And she just pulled. And I was like, I'm going to end up on the floor. So she did it a couple of times. I was like, haha, stop now. And then she literally did it and just pulled me. Luckily, I could pull away, so she fell. And Mandy was close on hand, and she came, grabbed her, and I get the fuck out. But she was like, obviously, as a manager, it's really hard when it's that type of situation, when you haven't got a specific security member on, because as a manager, you can't physically touch someone to take them out of the building, because they can come back for you. So Mandy did everything she could, and it was incredible. But yes, that was probably one of the worst when I got pulled to the floor in a wrestling move.
Mind you, sometimes you never know what's going to expect when you're on stage, do you? You never know what we're going to get and what comes up, and you know.
So Wildflower have said that sounds like Etta. I think they mean the rough built like a brick shit house.
Yeah, probably.
Thank you, Wildflower.
Probably. I was probably trying to nick your wig. That's probably what it was. What have we got? Scarlett's watching. Hello, Scarlett. Good evening, love.
Donovan said, shots, how many times do we need to ask?
Oh, you better do a shot then, love.
I love this is what happens on a Tuesday. I got these people all wanting me to do shots. But they're not doing shots at home. So they're just sitting, and for some reason it's entertaining to them for me to sit here or stand there, just constantly going, cheers.
I know. I had it the other Sunday. They were shouting shot, 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 shot. I was doing it. I think I've got through a whole bottle of that dirty sour stuff, which and
but I do enjoy, please sponsor me. I do enjoy a tequila rose.
You do, yes, and I did know that you do get through quite a few of those bottles.
Well, last week I did a full bottle on my stream and my after party. I also did a full bottle on Loose Women Live. So it was quite interesting. But last night I only did half a bottle because not that many people were commenting last night. So I was like, oh, fine, fuck you.
Oh dear. Right, so let me just have a look and see. So you've done your shots.
Yes.
I'm still recovering from Monday, Miss Kitty said.
Oh, she was on for about 20 hours on Monday, wasn't she?
Probably, yes. She always says to me,
very long time.
She does make me laugh, Kitty, because she says to me, she says, oh, going to do a show. I'm like, okay, love. She said, yeah, about an hour and 20 minutes, then I'm done. Okay, love, no worries. 3 hours later, 4 hours later, she's still there. I love it.
Yeah, she's good for that, is Kitty.
And you just cast her with drinks and she's fine. She carries on.
Well, Kitty always gave me good advice as well. It was the whole, just because you're supposed to be there for a certain amount of time, for a certain amount of money, doesn't mean you have to be.
Yes.
Because say you're booked for an hour, and then when it's like 45 minutes is up, and a big group walk through the door, you don't want to just go, okay, bye, too late.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time, you do end up doing longer than you're booked for because people are coming in at different times in drips and drabs.
Yeah.
And it's just, you've got to rely on the audience being there.
Yeah. Yeah. Kitty stays as long as people are buying her shots. That is true.
That's
That
my
is-
new thing as well, I've realised. So the last few gigs I did before lockdown, I was booked for hour shows and I was on stage for about 2.5 hours every time. And it was only because people just kept buying me shots. Oh. Yeah, people just kept buying me shots. So I was like, I gotta keep milking this. So I did a show in Plymouth where I was like, buy me shots and I'll be on stage for longer. Next thing I know, the Black Sambucas were just lining up. And if I was in the middle of a song, it was getting handed to me. And I was like, boom, next, next, next. The only shot I cannot do is tequila.
Oh,
But
tequila.
I like tequila rose because it doesn't taste like tequila at all. It's like
But the proper
adult
tequila.
strawberry milk.
Ugh.
It's adult strawberry milk. So,
See, I'm not one for shots. You see, I'm not really. I do the sours, dirty sours stuff, but
I think it's because of my time as a shot girl. I love a shot.
Yes, and
I'm not
Jaeger
feeling-
bomb.
Oh, I
Jaeger
love
bombs
it.
to me. Oh,
I prefer the cheap Jaeger bombs, but I love a Jaeger bomb.
oh, can't do them. Can't do them. No, they're
And
awful.
someone bought me an absinthe once. Oh, I was not expecting that because it's green. It was green when it came to me, and I went, "Is that sours?" And they went, "I'm not telling you." I sniffed it. I went, "Doesn't smell like sours. That's some sort of sambuca." And I did it, and I went, "Oh, that was nice. What was that?" And they were like, "Absinthe." And then I went into my next song. I think I was doing Valerie, and about halfway through, I started sweating more, and I was like, "Oh, it hit me." It's just like halfway through the song. So I did the shot and went, right, we're getting straight on with the next song because I've been here far too long. And I was just in the middle of singing and I just got the wave over me of, whoa, that was absinthe. In the middle of singing a song.
I honestly, shots I cannot do. I can't do them at all. Shannon's put tequila rose is amazing. Yeah. Donovan's put love tequila rose is my favorite. Jaeger serves me. Oh, Jaeger saves me from the hangovers. Oh, I can't.
Tequila rose gives me hangovers most of the time.
Oh, well, I'm not. No, I'm not. Me and shots, as I say, me and shots. And I'm not a very big drinker. And when I am a big drinker, I'm done for 3 days afterwards because you don't get nothing from me at all.
Well, just gotta pop and get me phone charger.
You get your phone charger
off the screen.
We only got a couple of more questions to ask you anyway, love.
Lovely.
It's probably gone across the road to get the charger, maybe now. We'll just have a little drink. Chin chin, everyone. Someone on WoW has put, not a big drinker. We've seen your Sunday shows.
But lockdown's different. Like we said earlier, you don't have a reason to not have a hangover.
No, exactly. You know, that's why if I drink on a Sunday, I don't do nothing on a Monday, so that's fine. You don't need to do anything. Right, so we've asked that one with Aaron. Here's one. Who is your favourite drag queen, and who is the less favourite drag queen that you wouldn't want to work with?
Now I'm gonna straight up go with, I won't answer the second question.
Okay.
Because even though I have certain views of certain people, I feel like, especially in a live situation like Facebook Live where it's kept, it's not a good idea when they can't back themselves up.
Yeah.
To slag someone off or say they're not good enough and things like that. I don't think that's a good idea whatsoever. And I also feel, okay, you feel that way about a certain person. Does anyone need to know that?
Yes. Yeah.
Is there any reason why you can't be nice? Some people say it's two-faced, but it's only two-faced if you slag them off to someone else and you're nice to their face. So for me... Oh, hang on. It's true, isn't it?
Chin chin.
If you slag them off and then you're nice to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not two-faced to have an opinion about someone and not air it.
Yes.
Like, I'm all for, air your opinions and everything like that. But when it could harm someone and it makes someone look bad when they haven't got a chance to fight for themselves, I don't think it's fair.
No.
So I won't be saying who my less favourite queen is, because I also think we should all stick together. We're all in the same boat, especially at the moment. We're all in the same boat. We haven't got work the way it used to be. We're all relying on social media, like audiences and things like that. So if someone goes onto a social media audience of their own and says, I don't like this person because, then that person could lose viewers from their next show because a drag queen they like has said they don't like that drag queen. So I think that's a bad idea.
So who's your favourite? Who do you really like? Who do you like?
So I would have to say my all-time favourite in Cardiff. I don't really know about the UK. I haven't travelled enough to see queens around the UK. That's one thing I want to do this year, when this is all over, obviously, so maybe next year. When I want to travel more with gigs, so I want to get gigs in different cities, and I want to stay there for at least 2 days, so I can do my show the one night, and the next day I can go and see some of their queens do their stuff.
And enjoy being
because I like staying overnight when it's like a location outside of Cardiff. It means I can get as drunk as I want and have to worry about getting back the same day.
That's it.
But my absolute favourite has to be Miss Kitty. Definitely, without a doubt, because she is a legend. Everyone knows who she is, and she is so good at what she does. For the 200 years she's been doing it, she is incredible. She doesn't look a day over 95. I don't know how she does it at her age. I hope you're still watching, Kitty, by the way. It's incredible. And every show, yes, people say she does the same stuff all the time, but my defense of that is when it shows in Wow and Mary's, she's constantly going, oh, what shall I do? When the audience asking for the same songs because they know Miss Kitty does those songs. They love Miss Kitty doing those songs.
Yeah.
I think a drag queen doing the same stuff all the time shouldn't be looked bad upon.
No,
because specifically if that's what the audience are asking for.
Yes.
And she's also, yes, she might do the same songs, but her comedy, she's constantly working on her comedy. It's all old school slapstick comedy, which I love.
And I'm the same. I absolutely love, Kitty. And if it wasn't really for Kitty, when I mentioned about me, me doing Etta buffet, and it was something I would like to do, and she was like, well, come and do some bits with me on the Tuesday when we do the competition, and if it wasn't for sort of Kitty pushing it a little bit, I probably would never have done it, and I wouldn't be sitting here today and interviewing, people that I'm interviewing at the moment. So, I absolutely agree, Kitty. But there is some fabulous. We've got such fabulous drag kings and queens in our community.
Yes, of course. We've got fabulous drag performers in Cardiff alone. Never mind the UK.
Yeah, exactly. And I love every one of them. And not one person has said anything bad about me doing this. And I would rather, if someone did sort of say something, I would rather them just sort of message me and say, I would do it this way, or I would look at doing it that way, or do your eyes this way. And,
to decide whether you want to do it that way.
Yes, that's it.
Like I said earlier, it's very boring when everything's the same.
Yeah, and it's sort of trying to find your ground a little bit. I've noticed that, big hair suits me better than the smaller hair that I've used to have. So I've sort of looked at that, and I've sort of big hair seems to suit me.
Yeah.
That's the way I'm going with it. So, but yes, Miss Kitty is definitely.
I feel like this length in a side part, slightly backcombed, suits me completely.
Yeah, that's it.
Than my purple and blue wig that I styled myself recently. I love that. When I did it, I was like, this is way too big. It's not going to look right. And that's the worst thing with wigs. That's why I don't like buying wigs styled online, because they look amazing on the head, but you don't know what they're going to look like on your head. And when you try them on for the first time, there's no point trying on a fully styled wig to see if it suits you until you're in full face.
Yes.
Because this wig looks ridiculous on me out of makeup.
Oh, this one did. When this one came, I put it on and I was like, oh, I need to put my makeup on, and I make a decision.
That's the thing. So it's all about how it looks when everything's done.
Yeah.
So it's like that blue one. To me, I put it on after I styled it and went, that's way too big. It's never going to suit me because I've never really liked myself in big hair. But then I got fully ready. I put it on and I was like, actually, I do like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I started to try some custom styling myself just to save a bit of money, really.
Yeah, that's it.
I've got plenty of wigs here that have either come out of their style or need to be styled. So I'm going to use this time to make myself
practice,
make them suit me. So they're done by me for me.
Yeah, that's it. That's a good idea. Yeah. So we all agree then Miss Kitty is the legend of legends. She's been in business like 200 years near enough.
And like I said, with the comedy, I love one-liners.
Yes.
And Kitty's jokes, they go on for about half an hour. But at the end of the day, they're a one-liner.
Yeah.
But what makes Kitty Kitty is how she turns that one-liner into a 2-hour story. Yeah. About, oh, the other day in the manor, so-and-so rang. And I was like, no, you can't stay again. And all that. And it goes down to a joke that everyone knows, but she's turned it into her own.
Yes.
And to me, that is just a talent. A gift. That is a gift she has.
So on the last few questions, do you have a drag mother like I've got Kitty, and I do have a drag mother in Swindon as well. So do you have a drag mother or a drag father or?
Not really. Like I've got older drag friends, Kitty, Bev, and people like that have supported me since they've met me. Because they've met me and gone, I think you've got a lot to give.
Yes.
I'll help you work on it. So I would say I've got I would just say I've got a lot of sisters, sisters.
Yeah.
But specifically a mother, no one taught me how to put makeup on. No one taught me about stage presence or how to make a look come together. I think as well, specifically, it's a lot easier these days to do it yourself because of things like YouTube, where it's like glue your eyebrows down like this, use that. And that's why when I look at queens that didn't have the YouTube situation, Kitty only had slate and chisel back in her day. But when I look back at queens like that and they use things that you'd never expect to use on your face, like copy decks for eyelashes.
Yeah.
Bizarre to me. But that's because back in the day, no one told you this is how you do it. And there wasn't any specific drag products like there is now. Because drag has become so much more mainstream, there is like drag specific lash glue, drag specific drag specific lashes. So that's where like the double stacking of lashes comes from. People put in like 6 pairs of small lashes up to make them look bigger.
Yeah.
People using copy decks because they know it lasts longer and sweat doesn't affect it. And things like that. So it's all about, it's easier now to know what to do. And that's why I find it so amazing to me how people, like I keep going back to it, but people like Kitty from the olden days, when it's like, you've been doing it for, even people like Mary that have been doing it for 10 years.
Yeah.
YouTube didn't have anything drag on it back 10 years ago, even if it was around 10 years ago. So it's just people learning from each other. That's where the whole drag mother things come from. People go in to other drag queens. I want to do drag. How do you do this?
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people have got their drag mothers from. So people going, right, I'll show you how to do this. I'll show you what to buy for this. Whereas when it comes to the younger queens like myself, a lot of us haven't got drag mothers because it's you can do it all yourself now.
Yeah.
If you want to know something, you just type it into your phone or your laptop and you see what someone else has done to do it with. And then you try that and go, oh, that didn't work for me. Let's see what other way I can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's
back. Carry on.
No, carry on.
So whereas back before, people would be like, well, that's the only way to do it because they do it like that and they're saying to do it like this. Well, that must be the only way to do it. So if it doesn't work for me, then it's just not going to work.
Yeah.
So people would have to adapt and use things people have taught them to make them work better for them. So no, basically back to the beginning, I haven't got a drag mother.
And it's right. You pick up things. It's like, I did a little session. Sounds rude. I did a little session with Gypsy. We did a bit of a makeup thing. She told me what to get. She told me to, do this, do that. And then I sort of just played with it myself. But I also was looking at other people, like, I was watching Mary do her makeup. I was watching Gina do hers and Gypsy do hers. And, so I watch people do it, but I try not to copy it. I try to make my own, if you get what I mean. It's making it to my own style.
Yeah.
So
Kitty, that she came on the ark with Noah, dirty. In fact, she did a show for Noah and the animals.
I come on the ark with Noah. Wow. In fact, I did the show for Noah. Well, yes, you probably. Kitty, did you meet Jesus as well? Have you met Jesus?
She's the one that taught him how to change water to wine.
Oh well, yeah, probably. You're correct there. Yes. Oh dear. Right. So the last question I've got here is. I've got two actually. Okay. What advice would you give someone who's just starting out on drag like myself?
So the advice I would give is practice. If you're a singer, practice your singing. But if you know you're a singer and you need to work on something else, put the singing to one side. That's what I had to do at one point, because I was constantly focused on sounding good as a singer. When it comes to the comedy and stuff, it was a very on the day, think of funny things to say. So now what I've had to do is put the singing to one side, still focus on it. So like still practice and stuff, but not as much as watching videos on not how to be funny, but like finding jokes and turning them into your own types of jokes and things like that. Makeup always gets better with practice. I learned that the hard way, because in my eyes, I don't see the point in sitting at home putting on a full face of makeup just to practice. Because to me, that's a waste of money. I'm putting money on my face and not getting anything for it. So, but I would say it does help, because that's how I've recently changed slightly the style that I do with my makeup. And that's because one day I went, right, I've got it all here. I've got nothing going on for the next few weeks. I might as well use this stuff.
Yeah.
I just before lockdown, I'd stocked up on all the stuff I needed anyway. So I've got a good amount of stuff here until I need to get more. So I was like, right, try different things. You've watched this video, you like how that person does it. Okay, try it for yourself. So I would say practice and just try. Don't be afraid to try new things. So it's like I've recently started gluing down my brows with glue stick instead of spirit gum like I used to use, mainly because I've run out of spirit gum and I had the purple glue sticks here. So I was like, I'm going to have to do it like this. I'm going to have to do it properly. Whereas now I would use it all the time. The only test for me is going to be things like Pride events where it's hot in the sun, because glue stick is water-based, whereas spirit gum's oil-based.
Yes.
When it gets wet, it starts to break. And like that's what happened to me last night. I was sweating so much because it was ridiculous heat last night. I was sweating and my eyebrows started cracking. Bearing in mind, there's 4 layers of glue on there. So I don't know why it happened, but it's bound to happen.
Yeah.
So I'd say practice. Don't be afraid to try new things and make sure you're enjoying it. If you're not enjoying it, what's the point?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, you can get a bit of money. But if you're going out of your way to get this money and you're not enjoying it, what is the point? Yeah. This isn't a job you get into to become rich. So if you don't enjoy it, there's no point doing it for the money.
Yes.
Because there'll be times, like now, look at all of us, where the money's just not going to be there.
Yeah.
So I would love to do it full time, but I know at the moment there's no way I could survive without having a day job as well as drag.
Yeah, definitely.
So my advice would be try new things, practice things that you think you're not good at so you can make them better, or you've been told you need to improve so you can make them better, and just enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Chin chin to that, love.
Oh, yes. Cheers.
Cheers. And the last question I always ask, Where would you
Okay.
like to see yourself in 5 years' time?
Hopefully not dead. That would be nice. Where would I like to see myself? In a mirror is where I'd see myself. It's quite funny, this is. So I've kind of, because I celebrated 3 years this year of drag, I've kind of set myself mini goals for my future in drag. And they're not goals that I have to make. They're just small goals that I've set myself of, it would be nice if by then I'm this, I'm that. So my mini goals I've set myself for, you say 5 years, my 5th anniversary is the plan. So 2 years time, really. Shit, that's really close. Is because I've been doing it 5 years, I want to be full time.
Right.
And more known. I don't want to do it for the fame. I don't want to like be more known for the fame. I want to be more known so I can get wherever I want. I can go and do a performance for them and people know it's going to be a good performance.
Yes.
I want to be at that point 5 years into my career where people don't see it as a risk booking me because they've never heard of me. So that's why I want to be full-time by then. And then I've set myself the 10-year goal of still being full-time, hopefully, depending on whatever the new normal is. Maybe full-time is never going to be an option. And I want to do a sellout 10-year theatre show. So in a big theatre, so the kind of like new theatre type of theatre, like 2,000 seats, one night only, completely sold out, and it's just me on stage for. I'll have to pay extra for the booking because they'll have to stay open later than they want to, because I will go on planning for a certain amount of thing, and then I'll try and find a way people can give me shots as well in that show.
That's
I
it.
don't know how
Yeah.
it works in a theatre show, but I'd want a theatre show, live band in the orchestra pit, just me, almost like an audience with, but on a massive scale. So that's 7-year plan, basically.
Fab. I'll be down the front selling the ice creams.
Oh, no, you can do the shots, Liv. No, I guess Scarlett's do the shots.
Yeah, I could be a shot girl. I could be a
Scarlett, you can
shot
walk
girl.
around with the tray.
No problem. Right, we'll have a little look and see if there's any other comments. Kitty's put, in fact, I'm that old. I was there when the Big Bang happened.
And Vicky's replied saying, I remember sitting next to you. And if anyone's got any questions, any burning questions they want to ask.
Is anyone got any other questions? Go. Anyone?
Because there is a bit of a delay, obviously. You've got to wait for people to do that. Because on the feed, I haven't even said people comment questions. So
yeah,
I wait a couple of minutes.
A bit of a delay.
So I'll have a little shot while we're waiting.
Have a little shot while we're waiting.
Oof. Wash your things. Up the bum, no harm done.
Raise your drink to the roof. Up your bum, no harm done. Flick your bean and don't be mean. Gin love.
Cheers.
Now, are you going to do your own little after party afterwards?
I don't think so. Not tonight.
No. And when are you on next? Do you on tomorrow?
No, I am back on Tuesday at 9 p.m. on Drag Diva Lockdown.
Oh, so you got a couple of days off then?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh?
I think I'm gonna get ready on like Friday and maybe film some things. But we'll see what happens. But yes, I do every Tuesday at 9 p.m. on Drag Diva Lockdown. So please come and join in. And I'm thinking I might do a theme to it this week. So I might start doing like specific stuff weekly. I'll still take requests, but trying to stay within the theme. So like 1 week I might do Disney, the next week I might do like acoustic versions of songs, just to keep it different weekly. So I'm not stood there doing the same thing and being asked for the same songs.
And I'm sure someone will still pay a £5 to do Penny Arcade.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they would.
Gabby has just put a question.
Yes.
What's your favourite venue? So does that mean you've got a favourite venue to working, or favourite venue to go to, or just favourite venue in all?
I would like to say that I love all the venues we have in Cardiff and venues I've been to around the UK. Actually, I haven't had a bad experience in any of them, but I would 1,000,000% have to say that my favourite venue that I've ever worked at or been to or even experienced has to be Minsky's.
Oh yes, yeah,
because that was my home for the past 2 years.
yes,
And I felt comfortable there, and I could go there any time of the week, even though they're only open on the weekend. I could go there any day, whether I was working or not, and I'd just be welcomed in like I was coming home. So
Yeah.
it has to be Minsky's for me.
Well, let's hope, and fingers crossed. Well, we never know what the future holds for any of us at the moment, and
Well, yes.
Minsky's may come back. So
Well, Wow did. So
yes, yeah. So
I think we're trying not to rush into anything at the moment.
No.
We're going to let it lie.
Yes.
Especially with the current situation.
Yeah.
But I hope that at least within a year, we'll have something ready for the Minsky's audience to come back to.
Yes, yeah, and hopefully, and you never know, I may have my poster there as well. You never know.
One day, maybe.
One day. Dixie, you have been absolutely fantastic tonight. Thank you so much for joining me in my talk time. We're back on Tuesday with Diva Lockdown. That's every Tuesday, isn't it, at 9:00?
Yeah.
Fab.
Yes,
so if anyone hasn't liked Dixie or liked her page, go over, like her page, follow Dixie. She's fantastic. She's one of and me, yes, and me. She's one of my favourite sisters. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for doing this with me. Next Wednesday, I'm back with Talk Time, and I will be interviewing Dominique Tricks.
Oh, that'll be exciting.
I know, that'll be interesting. And also, I think then the week after, I am very honoured of this, to be honest. Ambidextrous has agreed that she would be like to do a little talk time with me as well. So I am very, very honoured to have one of our oldest drag queens and to be on talk time with me as well. So do watch that space. Dixie, I love you lots. Look after yourself.
I will.
And we will be back together soon, my darling.
Yes, we can hope.
Chin chin, raise your drink to the roof. Up your bum, no arm down. Don't be mean. Look after yourself. Bye.
Bye.
Love you. Mwah.